critical race theory. Okay. And you'll see why critical race theory, as you know, and I'll define it as this: just telling the truth about history is so necessary, because you'll start to see that a lot of these people that we've put up in high regards were really not as good of people as we thought they were, right? You know, I think arguably one of the greatest presidents that we would always rank probably top 5 would be Abraham Lincoln, right? Well, I would say that Abraham Lincoln probably would lose a couple of spots if you really looked at his, you know, at the way that he thought, and even the things that led up to the Civil War, the way he thought about it up until that point, right? And, you know, how he viewed Black people at the time and everything along those lines. So I think it's outrageous that we tell someone, you know, reparations is meant to right a wrong, or to attempt to make things equal, right? You took land away from Native Americans. So what you do is you try to give them land that is secure for just them, right? So that's the purpose of reparations. You put all these Asians in internment camps, which means that they lost their jobs, they lost X, Y, and Z. Then when you let them out, then you gave them some sort of reparations in order to make up for all of that time, right? Same thing with, you know, the reparations that Jewish people were given, you know, after the Holocaust. Yeah. All these things. That's the purpose of reparations. So what you're going to tell me is the people who have been benefiting from all this free labor, all this stuff that they've been given because of the color of their skin, because they owned people, all this other stuff, they should be also compensated additionally, because now they won't be able to profit off of the backs of someone else that they stole and that they took the right from, and they've done all these different things, right? You built laws against them. I mean, come on, man. Like, let's just be real. And I can't believe that you would even curl your lips up to even say something so crazy as that, right? like what
what's even going through your mind, right?
Right. I mean, like, you could have said anything else. You could have just said, you know what, reparations isn't we shouldn't have reparations. I would have respected that more than having that conversation right there, right? And I would like, that was the first time I've seen it, so I may go back and try to see, because I want to hear what Candace has to say. You know, if it's anything outside of, I don't know about that, but I'll listen to you. You know.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's funny. I seen a thing, was it today or yesterday? And they were talking about you know, we're told to forget about slavery or get past slavery. Let's not think about slavery, right? But we always never forget 9/11, never forget Holocaust, never forget the internment camps, right? So all these different groups and these different tragedies has happened to, you know, Americans. Well, Holocaust, I guess they weren't Americans, but they've since come over here, right? And we've compensated them for their time and trouble and their pain and their struggle, even to Native Americans, right? And so now I would say we fucked over the Native Americans royally, right? We took all the good shit, gave them all the bad shit, and said, y'all got to fucking deal with it. And then we slowly gave them some of these casinos and whatnot, but even that's so concentrated that you know, there's really, you know, they've got corruption just like any other groups in the world. But yeah, you know, only Black Americans are told we need to forget about slavery, and only Black Americans are taught that our history starts with slavery too. I really wish that we would expand beyond slavery is when we're talking about critical race theory, right? And talking about the history of America. But I would like to, you know, we spend a lot of time in history talking about the British Empire and their expansion. We talk about the English and their expansion. We talk about the Ottoman Empire, and we're talking about Genghis Khan, and we talk about all these other different racial groups, that we don't talk about the prestige of African countries as well. You know, we don't talk about any of the conquerors of that time and those natives and whatnot. And I think we should spend more time. I think it will. I think talking about those things will ultimately maybe even give them what they're looking for in terms of how do we get Black people to stop talking about slavery and talk about some other stuff. So teach us, or teach our children, help teach our children, you know, what are some things that Black Americans or Black folks in general, what were we before slaves? You know, we're not just some, you know, riding around with spears and on a goat hunting lions in the safari, right? Like if you, you know, we're taught that Africa now are you know, people still living in huts and whatnot, but you know, most, not most, but a lot of your African countries are well developed, you know, first world countries or cities, right? And so I think that would serve a dual purpose if we just educate people. But yeah, it's just, it baffles me that Black people are all consistently, and whatever we're being told and taught is to always just forgive and forget. But everybody else can't do that. You know, God forbid, let us say something negative, you know, about 9/11 victims, or you know, how about we defund the money out there to help the families of people who are still getting sick from, you know, the dust and all of that other good stuff. No, you know, that would absolutely blow everyone's mind if we did that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you caught some of the memes. I know that Spike Lee did a kind of I guess I don't know, an expose of the other side of 9/11, talking about all of these, essentially, I'll say brown people, right, who were negatively affected by all of the quote unquote patriotism that came about with 9/11. You know, because and I think it further solidifies the innate racism that's within the United States, right? You know, you had that big long thing about the United States is not a racist country. It's not a racist country. Okay, well, you know, you say that because you're in a position where you've never experienced it. I think the majority of people who've said that. But basically, you know, there was this list of memes that were going out talking about, and I can't remember if it was said pound like the other side of 9/11 or pound, you know, I don't know, something 9/11. It was basically all these brown people talking about their loved ones being assaulted after 9/11, or and not just assaulted by normal, I mean, people off the street, but like police officers and people who are supposed to protect them, and all these different things, right? And you know, I think about the time back when that happened, because I remember, I believe I was in, what was it, 01? So I was a senior in, yeah, I was a senior in high school at that point in time. It was 01, right? 9/11, 01. And I think I was in like a social studies type class, and I think the first plane hit, they turned it over, and then I think they turned it over just in time for the second one to hit. And I remember this, you know, kind of feeling of, okay, everyone is getting together, right? Everyone's ready to go against terrorists, this, that, and the other. And, you know, me being a punk high schooler, I wasn't worried about, you know, really looking too deep into it after that. But then I remember, after reading all these things, I remember this innate hatred for Muslims, you know, afterwards. And it was like, okay, so all Muslims have to perish in some form or fashion. That's basically the theme of it. But the fact of the matter is, you know, the religion didn't cause these people to go and run into a building. right?
Mm-hmm.
These people felt that, I guess, either Western society or the US in particular did something negative enough to them, or I guess to them and their culture, that they felt like they needed to do this. And so why would we punish a whole race of people, or not a whole race, a whole religion of people, for that?
Based off
So,
yeah.
and so what you got was, you got a whole bunch of brown people who were negatively affected, and not necessarily brown people who were Muslims, but they may have been Sikh, they may have been all these other religions that, you know, traditionally wear, you know, garbs on their head, or, you know, cover their faces, things on those lines that don't necessarily have to be Muslim, right? But all we see is a brown person who looks different than the rest of us. And so we're going to go over and mess with them because we're Americans, and we're not going to take that. And we're going to clean the streets ourselves, right? Without any context, without any real knowledge of what's going on. You know, all these people were negatively affected once again, you know, from people who died, from people who were assaulted, from people who were just threatened, you know, just did, you know, it's crazy. And once again, you don't realize that stuff until you see it, right? Yeah. I mean, I was this year old, you know, before I understood it. And yeah, I don't even know how we got all the way over here to this,
but you know what though, I've never, and this is gonna sound really ignorant, right? But I've always heard, even Asian people, they talk about the racism that they endure and the violence that's brought upon their community. I'm like, what the fuck? Ain't nobody messing with y'all. Y'all say to yourselves, like, ain't nobody's going around just beating up Asian people, right? And then, you know, your boy, your buddy, your best friend, him and his China virus. And like, now I'm seeing it. I'm like, these people, and just like after 9/11, and after, you know, like you said, anybody with a beard, anybody with the head wrap on, anybody whose name was Muhammad, you know, it was this instant racism towards them. And we were almost collectively racist. You know, I think that was probably the most American that we've always been, because now you had Black people, yellow, green, white, all of us, you know, anyone who wore a robe and had something on their head, or had a mustache, or had a beard, they get on a plane, they're like,
right. Right, you got to step off, sir.
Yeah, right. And for those who, like, even like me, who believe in the conspiracy theories that they had nothing to do with, I still was looking at them backwards. You know, I'm like, like, y'all need to check him twice, you know, right, before he get on this damn plane with me. But we were collectively racist. That's that. I mean, there's no other way to put it. That's what we were. But it was fine because we did it under the name of patriotism, right? Mm-hmm. And so same with the China virus and these random attacks on Asians, and it's now that one that necessarily wasn't a collective American racism. That went back to just white folks. But they still did it under.
I would say it's more. I'm not even gonna give. I wouldn't even put it on white people. I would put
you
it
had
on
Black people out there assaulting Asian folks.
What?
I ain't seen one Leroy, one Broham over there assaulting no Asian.
Well, that's because one, you don't know about the Proud Boys.
He don't count. What's his name? Enrique.
Hey, that's enough. That's enough. But I mean, I think I say not white people because that whole China virus thing was the Trumpists, the Trump Republicans, right? You know, I still believe they're common sense Republicans who just want less government, lower taxes, and that's it, right? Yeah. And you don't have to subscribe to Trump's craziness in order to be that. But, you know, for those people who were, oh yeah, this is just a China virus or whatever, come on, guys. You know, it doesn't matter to me, to be honest with you. You know where it came from. So why didn't you react better? That's the question. But I'll go back to your point. I'm sorry.
Nah, but so you brought up a point, right, about these your comments as Republicans wanting less government. And I've never understood that concept, right? It's always, we've had Republicans that have had Trump had full control, right? Full control of the Supreme Court, full control of the Senate, full control. I don't think he had the House.
I think he did the first time, didn't he?
Who, Trump did?
Or maybe he had the.
No, he had the Senate and he most recently just got the Supreme Court. Bush maybe had all of them. Mm-hmm. And yet they grew government bigger than anybody else, right? So I've never understood this whole less government concept from conservatives, because I think if you talk about less government and holistic point, I think Democrats would agree as well. Like, no one wants a large amount of oversight to some degree.
I think it's not. I don't think it's so much the oversight as much as the involvement. So Democrats in general, and I will put myself in this. The reason that I identify with the Democratic Party is, one, I know that they will always take taxes. Okay, if you're going to take some taxes, you might as well take enough. That's how I look at it. Take enough, right? Where I think conservatives are like, just leave me and my money alone. I don't want to pay you any taxes if I can, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm okay, obviously, with paying taxes. I'm okay with paying a little bit more taxes, to be honest with you. But I want that to also, if I'm paying you more taxes, I want to see the benefits from those. So I want to see good schools. I want to see, my highways and byways done. See, we've talked about it beforehand. I want to see some kids being funded to go to school. I want there to be a fund for people who are having hard times and they don't have a job and they need to have, welfare for a bit of time. I want all of that to be there because, hell, I don't know if I'm going to always be in a position to work. Yeah. And I want to make sure that if anything bad happens to me, then I can depend on my government to at least keep me afloat for just a little bit, right? I'm not saying being dependent, but I'm saying at least to float me along because, hell, I got a family and I've got to provide for them. And the whole concept of no government or little to no government is, okay, well, you lost your job, hurry up and figure out a way to get another one and provide for your family. I think this day and age proves that it's not that easy, because one, we've let inflation just get out of hand. So, barely getting anything or barely making enough or being underemployed is almost worse than being unemployed, in my opinion, right? So I forget. I don't even know what my point was with all this.
We were talking about big government and it being I would say it was a universal thing.
So once again, I think Democrats want more. When we say big government, we're talking about involvement instead of literally growing. But
I think you've got a conservative faction that aren't opposed to social safety nets. I don't think anyone is just like, let's do away with everything, because they always have exceptions, right? It's, what about our vets? What about our old people? Like, what about, our children? Like, what about these certain things that they don't mind social safety?
Yeah. So conservatives in general, yes, they want you to fund. So for them, they're wanting to give you barely enough. Yeah. If we're doing taxes, so we want you to fund. Let me back up. True conservatives, because the vast majority of Republicans are not conservatives, are not true conservatives. Yes, fund the military. Yes, provide public education to a point, right? As long as it's not around me. All these different things. Now, the people who want virtually no government, those are libertarians. Yeah. Right. And so they're the ones that I was like, I shouldn't even take your money. But I'll take it to build some roads. Right. Yeah. That'd be about it. we'll do something with infrastructure.
The bare minimum.
Other than that, you keep your money, you do it as you will. But understand, when you come to me and ask me for shit, I'm going to tell you no, because you have your stuff. You know. So that's kind of the libertarian bit. So, but conservatives today, or I'm sorry, Republicans today are not true conservatives, because yes, they want the government to do all these things that they want, right? So for instance, abortion is the government being in people's shit.
Yeah,
that's a form of big government. That's big government. Right? You know, for the most part, they don't want welfare, because they want you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and if you're on welfare, then you won't go and get a job. That's the mind of a conservative or a Republican now, right?
But just your poor states are Republican.
Right. Pour all this money into the military, even if they don't need it.
Yeah.
Make more guns, you know, big government, hey, protect my guns, allow, gun manufacturers to make as many and as big and as bad of guns as they possibly can. It's my right to do so. Government, protect that, right? That's a form of big government.
Yeah.
So I think at this point in time, in this stage of, kind of politics, there's no real party that wants small government besides the libertarians, true libertarians. And I'll put it to you like that.
Fair enough. And maybe we just don't know, not to say we, but as Americans, we really don't know what we want. You know, like you said, we've got one half of the faction that says, yeah, we want small government, we want no involvement, we don't want welfare, but yet all of us are on it. And poor whites, right? And so, and that's where the Republican Party, they've done a great job at misinformation. And it's mainly the uneducated, right? They have told or taught and indoctrinated, they have brainwashed an entire group of poor whites that says welfare is really only when Black or brown people accept money from the government. That Section 8 that the poor white person is on, the food stamps that the poor white one, that's not welfare. That's just a social safety net, right? They call it something different. And they want you to believe that it's Bonquisha and her 8 kids that are the ones that's soaking up these social safety nets. But when it's really Marianne Sue and all her 27 cousins and all of their 8 kids is soaking stuff up, right? Mm-hmm. And don't get it wrong. I don't want to. It's not a Black versus white, because you've got Black people who game the system and abuse the system, just like you have white people, right? It's just more white people to do it. But the bigger question I have is, we all know, I think there's a good faction of this country knows what we need to do to fix our government, right? So one, I don't think anyone disagrees that we need term limits. I don't think anyone disagrees that we need to overhaul our welfare system and make it more supportive instead of dependent based. I think we all, I wouldn't say all, majority of us agree that we need some national healthcare system. What that may look like, that we don't necessarily agree with. But I think the majority of the country we need something, right? This privatized healthcare is literally killing Americans. And so that's where we struggle. So these are the 3 basic things I think that most of us can agree that we need and that we know that needs to be fixed. So the question is, why can't we fix it? What is holding our country back from fixing these things? We've got Republicans that are in control of the House, of the Senate, and of the presidency. We got Democrats that are in control of the House, the president. Like you have no excuses, but we can't get shit done. And this is where I guess I kind of agree with Trumpism in a sense. Hear me out, folks, before you start jumping on me and calling me Larry Elder Jr. But some person, some faction that can really get into government and bust some shit up. And I don't know if that's even possible. we talk about drain the swamp. We talk about, getting some of the, I think even when Trump got in office, he realized if he was involved in anything, like this shit is serious. I can't go in there and just do what I normally do and say you're fired. There's consequences and ramifications of doing stuff like that, right? I think every president goes in there with these high hopes. I mean, look at Obama. He went in 08, hair just jet black, looking useful, smoking a cigarette a day. And he came out before the first midterm elections, hair just gray as all outdoors, looking like
Looking a pack a day.
Yeah, out there with the little tan suits on. This man was out there just rugging it. He was like, "Oh shit, this is hard," and I think that the politics of it is dangerous. And so it begs the question, like, what do we really do then? How do we fix this? Can it be fixed? Is there a political party that's going? And I don't think the Republicans or the Democrats are the answer. And as quiet as it's kept, I think we won't see true change in this country until we can truly introduce a third party. And I'm talking about a third party that doesn't caucus with the Democrats, doesn't caucus with the Republicans. He's not like, Bernie in Vermont, who's independent, but he caucuses with Democrats, or Joe Manchin in West Virginia, who claims he's a Democrat. This fool, he a Democrat today and a Republican tomorrow. Nigga, just go ahead and be a Republican and be done with it, right? But we need a true third party that can shake some shit up, and that keeps you from having, fighting for Democrat, over on the House side and say, well, we need 52 votes. No, now you got 100 senators, right? So now you can break it up and say we got 30 here, 30 here, and 40 here, or however that may look like, and that's when you truly have to go across the aisle and start working on some things and finding some things that's going to work. And so I don't know, man. I honestly, and I hate to say this, I think our country is just fucked. Like, I think, I honestly think that we just got to kind of work with it. Like, I don't know. I think that there's too much money involved. There's too much power that's being sucked in that it's almost impossible. And maybe term limits is going to be the first thing to really get that rolling. Maybe the threat of, this is not a career. I think senators, if they serve 2 terms, they get like lifelong benefits. Like they get their salary for life or some shit like that.
Wow.
Like this, like being a politician shouldn't be a job. Like it's a public service event, right? It's a public service duty. Like you get in, you get out, and call it a day. I mean, policy changes and evolves, and we've got I think someone broke it down that like Joe Biden was alive at like the same time like Abraham Lincoln's grandson was in office or some shit like that. Like, yeah. That's where we are, right? We've got like people that's been, I mean, look at your Mitch McConnells and your Lindsey Grahams and your Joe Bidens and your Nancy Pelosi's, like all of these folks that's been in office for 30, 40, 50 years, they don't evolve, and it takes someone like AOC, your girl, right, that's going in there to the Met with a dress that's got Tax the Rich on it. Like this chick just
Well,
about AOC. Now that we're talking about her in her dress, you think she's got a Veep or president written on her somewhere? Can she appeal to the masses?
I will say yes. I will say not in her youth. I think that as she continues to grow and if she's able to maintain her position, I think that these Gen Zs, the next generation after them, I think we will be progressively more liberal. I think that's just how the country has always been. The country has always worked its way to the liberal side of things. And I think there's an opportunity. I think there would be an opportunity at one point in time, but I think she would have to, I don't know if perfect is the right word, but she would have to virtually remain kind of perfect. And I define perfect as she doesn't need to get caught up in any sort of scandal. She doesn't need to be caught on the fence about issues, all these different things, right? So basically, she doesn't Elizabeth Warren herself, right? Elizabeth Warren at one point in time was known right up there with Bernie as just as liberal and just as crazy as Bernie, right? And then she gets on into this little bit where I guess, I don't know if she's, she doesn't like the fame that he has or whatever, and then tries to turn on him. And now you lost that support from those people, right? So I think she does have presidential potential, but she's going to have to, just kind of live a clean life and stick to what she's saying today, and everything, right? So, I don't know. I think that's a good analysis of, I agree with you. I think there should be a third party. I also believe that, I think I'm probably at the point now where I don't think it's going to matter, which is bad enough.
We're fucked.
Until, and I will say this, I say until maybe we get into a term limit bit like you're talking about, because right now, people, and I think that also, if we ever did term limits, that would also hinder AOC's chances as well. So let me go ahead and put that out there. I think the way that our politicians work now is they do what they need to do to be reelected. Better, worse, or indifferent, right? I'm going to do what I need to do to be reelected and not necessarily represent my constituents the way that I should. And I think with term limits, you have that opportunity, or you should have people who are wanting to come in and actually make a change and make a difference. You have to take away that lifetime salary and all this other stuff, right? But I don't know if that's even feasible, because I wonder if they are privy to secrets that would just make it dangerous for them to be back into normal society as normal folks. I don't know. There's a lot of layers that I can get into that I just think about when I'm thinking about that. But I think until we get to the point where our politicians aren't worried about I'm going to vote this way just because I'm going to be reelected because of it. That's going to be the thing. My worry about a third party is now you may be passing laws, you may be doing all these different things based off a third of the country opposed to the majority of the country. That would be another thing. And I think that was the whole thing with the California recall, which I never understood, and I think I just got kind of the tail end of it. But there was a possibility that someone could have been reelected, someone could have been elected with about 30% of the vote, right? So the from my understanding, there was two bits here, right? There was two bits. The first question was, should the governor be taken out, the current governor be taken out? That's first, yes or no. If the majority is yes, then you go to who should be the person that replaces him or her, right? And so, there was, I think, about 4 or 5 different people. So literally there could have been someone who had 30% of the vote of that. If enough people said, yes, the governorship should be recalled, and they would have been the governor now, right? How crazy is that? 70% of the state didn't weigh in, or 70% didn't necessarily agree with this person. That's a dangerous portion when you go to that third or more parties, if we're going to look at it from that perspective. But I guess we do have and I'm probably going to just destroy my whole comment beforehand, but I know we do have things in place where you have to have a certain amount of votes, which I think always typically amount to more than half.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So I don't know. It would be great. It would be a great experiment if we ever had the balls enough to do it, but I just don't know if we do.
I wish Georgia we recall this motherfucker here, because this nigga just he on that bullshit for real. Which I don't. So are we not electing a new governor like next year? When is his race? Like, I feel like it should be next year, right? Like, who's running? Because I don't even know from the Democrat side who's running. Like, where's Stacey at? Stacey, where you at, Stacey?
Stacey probably like, nah, I ain't doing none of that.
You don't think she is?
I mean, I think it's hard to go about it twice.
I think she's got a better shot this go around though too.
Maybe we'll have to go into how Georgia politics are. Yeah. So I'm wondering, is it just a simple majority that it takes
for a recall here?
No, to become a governor.
Oh yeah, I would think so. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Because I think, because I mean, if you only got the two, well, I guess no. I guess you can run on as a third party. I think she'd have a shot. I mean, we elected, Biden, Warnock, and that white boy that can't win nothing else. Ossoff. Right. Which thank you, Ossoff, for my check for last year election. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, we elected them people, so I don't know, man. I think
it's possible. Like, that's why I want to know how do we go about electing our governor?
Yeah,
that's going to be important. It has to be 51%. In that case, you have to hit your urban areas extremely hard and get people out to vote. And
if I'm not mistaken, let me look it up. I swear she got very close last go round, like 52-48 type stuff. Like,
didn't they have the runoff? Didn't they? Because weren't there more people and then they had to do a runoff? I can't remember. Who knows?
2000. So it is next year.
Okay.
But let's see. That means the last race was in 2018. I guess every 4 years.
We will see if Kemp has killed off enough people to get reelected.
Listen here. And that's why I'm saying it may be. I mean, there's enough. Like, I think you have enough Republicans who know someone, or I think that the tide has finally turned. I think the loud ones are still out there, but I think you have enough of them. Like, like legit people are like around me are dying. Like, people I know are dying. My family and friends are dying. Like maybe like this isn't as bad as they say it is. So all right, so 2018 he got 50.2% and she got 48.8%. So he won with 50.2%. So a simple majority. But she came within 50,000 votes. I don't know how many people have died in Georgia from COVID, but I'm assuming probably around that. Now, obviously, there aren't Republicans that died. But we've also had an influx of folks coming into the state too since then. So,
well, you got to also understand they may not all be Republicans, but if they have Republican family members who cared about them, and it's like, well, I can't vote for the guy who essentially did nothing to help my family member stay alive. And I still believe that that's the way that Trump lost when it really comes down to it also. So, yeah. Oh no, man. That's gonna be interesting. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna be a pollster.
You know what though? I would push that, right? I would love to see Stacey Abrams in that seat. I would hope she would do it justice. I'm actually perplexed at why Keisha isn't running for mayor again. I swear I see a commercial every other day now. It's like 18 of them was going. Even Kasim Reed is back in there.
Right.
Maybe him and Keisha, his little girlfriend, are just trading on back and forth. I don't know. I don't know. Is that libel? Is that not? Can I not say that?
Who knows? Who knows what in the world these people are talking about? But I don't know, man. That's yeah. I don't. I feel like someone probably has something on her, or I mean, being the mayor of Atlanta has got to be taxing. I mean, just with all the stuff and having to deal with Governor Kemp. You're the mayor with the most power because you have the most money and the most people, and then you're fighting with this idiot who is.
But I felt like she didn't do I mean, I don't live in Atlanta, so I don't know. But from what I've seen on the news, like she wasn't like she was horrible, right? She did everything that you would think a mayor in Atlanta would have done in the situation.
You can always find something to fuss about. People can always find something to fuss about. Who knows?
I know we had the couple of the kids that got shot at Morehouse with those cops there. You had the guy that was shot at and killed at the Wendy's down there. A couple other little police involved shootings.
Yeah, but I mean, I think she handled most of those.
Yeah, I think
well. I think she got a lot of those people gone on the spot, and then we even had like a police chief who quit because it was just happening too much.
Yeah, young white lady. I remember that.
She was young. I think she was older, but yeah.
I don't know. She was petite. How about that?
She was petite. I will say that. Yeah, that statement.
So, Georgia politics. It is what it is. Georgia is like purple-ish, bluish. So let's kind of see what's going on. But it's been a while, man. We didn't talk about politics in a while. So while, and as we can kind of wrap this up, but while we were on this, I was actually secured us a what's that? I don't know, a special guest speaker. So we've got a young lady that I found on TikTok. That talks not that one.
I thought you were going to talk about your rally. That's what I thought you were about to say. I was about to say,
what rally? Oh, the Trump rally. Oh, we should go, dude.
Only if I get front row seats. I want the whole row.
Listen here. Y'all who are listening, we have a Trump rally here in Georgia. Next weekend, sometime soon. I would love to go and to see these things, but I can't get any of my friends ever want to go with me, and I can't go by myself because it's just not the same. Sometimes you want to enjoy the moments, these happy moments in life with the people that the best. And George will not come with me to something like this. And I don't know why not.
Because I don't have blood pressure issues currently, and I don't really have them going to one of these things. Because I mean, first off, I firmly believe unless you're going in there like, suit and tie black person, with your MAGA hat on, they're gonna stop one of us. And they're gonna say,
well, that's why we got to go in there with like a I love Candace shirt or elder for governor. We got to go in there with some type of swag that helps them assimilate us to their movement. Maybe go in there with a MAGA 2020 mask on.
No, do you really have that will to fight that many people if he gets down to that point?
I just want to be in the atmosphere. I'm not going. I know I'm gonna be outnumbered, so I'm not gonna cause drama. I'm not gonna be like that dude from the Daily Show that goes out there and just trolls the shit out of them. I won't challenge anybody. I just want to see it. I want to feel it. If for y'all don't know, I went to a Trump rally back in 2018. When was Trump elected? 2018. So 2017 when he came down to the Fox Theater, and I was kicked out before he even spoke. And so I've never had an opportunity to enjoy.
Why were you kicked out?
Huh?
Why were you kicked out?
Well, they assumed based off of
Uh-huh.
my skin color that I was going to troll and I was going to be disrupt the programming. And I wasn't. I was just listening and I was enjoying and I was laughing and having a good time at the expense of the ignorance of others. But this time I've learned my lesson. I need to control my laughter and my giddiness of ignorant bliss that surrounds me. And so I will be a lot more stoic and just watch. I may even go like live and be like, hey, I am here. Only Black person for miles. But I got to get somebody to go with me. I can't go by myself.
Why can't you go by yourself? Didn't you go by yourself the first time?
Well, that's why I need backup. Like I need someone that can witness what's about to go down.
Oh Lord. Where's he even gonna be? In Calhoun or someplace?
I don't know. Let's look and see.
Go to UGA.
Trump, Georgia. We're gonna find out and we're gonna go. Because it would probably be up there in like Rome somewhere.
Where's Kristen? Kristen, make sure you got my bail money.
Let's see here. Trump rally. I'll have to find it. But anyway, I'm gonna put it out there. Somebody's gonna go with me. I don't know who's gonna come with me, but somebody, George.
Man, I need you to get all the brothers from your fraternity to be lined up outside.
I doubt they would want any of they're not as cavalier. Wednesday, October 6th.
Perfect. I think I'll be out of town.
Really? It looks like it's gonna be virtual though.
Virtual? I don't know how I got subscribed to Right Side Broadcasting.
No, September 25th in Perry, Georgia, wherever that's at.
Perry, Georgia.
Yeah. The Georgia National Fairgrounds on September 25th. I don't know where that's at.
Even better. I know I'll be out of town that day. That's on a Saturday. September
25th, yeah.
Let me see where Perry, Georgia is. Perry. See what God-forsaken place that is. Near, I already see Fort Valley. Oh, okay, it's around Warner Robins, so it's middle Georgia.
Oh, okay. See, that ain't too redneckish.
No, it is.
They may not have an active clan out there like they do out in Calhoun.
They probably do. Luckily enough, you're not too far from Macon.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
Right.
We said all that to say is for legitimate that we've got a young lady named Antoinette. So I found her on TikTok. She came across my For You page and she does tax liens in Florida. And
okay.
She has agreed to come in and chat with us. I won't talk to her about anything that she does kind of beforehand, just so the conversation will be really organic and kind of learn and grow from there. So we can talk about our experiences. We'll kind of give you all what we've learned buying here in Georgia and Illinois, and then she can give you, because I think all of the TikToks, all of the YouTube videos that I watch, kind of learning, most of them were based in Florida. And so I think they operate almost like they do in Illinois.
Okay.
With their system. So it'd be great to get somebody on finally that'll kind of give you all a break from just the two of us. I feel like we've had somebody on before though, right?
We had Kristen on one time.
Yeah.
We've been talking about relationships. And I guess
do another one of those too.
Yeah. Where's your girl at? You hit up? Okay. It's Buster.
I'm sure we can find somebody else that wants to get on it.
No worries. We'll find somebody. Let's think up someone collectively.
I need somebody that's going to have a very strong opinion on certain topics. So I'm gonna start digging through my friends list. Say, hey, what's good, boo? But anyway, no, join us. I don't know when we'll do it, but maybe next Thursday. I'll see if she's free. You got anything next Thursday? Will you be available? Y'all don't know, George is like double platinum on Delta right now because he travels somewhere every week.
I feel, and you know what? This is the most I've traveled in years, and I forgot that how taxing it gets on me. I should be able to next Thursday, but I think I will be in Florida. That's why I said I won't be here next weekend to go to the Trump rally. We're doing a memorial for my wife's grandfather.
Okay.
Yep. And so we'll be in Florida. I'll tell you when I come back. So the next weekend after that, I'll tell you about how crazy my family is. My extended family now. My new family.
So we're gonna cut off the live there then, because we don't want to broadcast to the world, get you in trouble. But no, appreciate everybody joining in. Again, we try to change up the topics. This week is a little politics. Next time we get together, like I said, we'll have a special guest and we'll talk tax liens and kind of
bring your pen and paper for that one, because you can go out. There's money to be made in real estate.
There is, and it's one of those things that will forever, appreciate and value. Hell, the planet is a very finite resource, so as much of it as you can own, the best. So we'll talk about that and we'll keep it moving. So appreciate everybody for listening in. I'm Eugene.
I'm George, and we'll see you all next week.
See ya. Stop that.